So, the Bodyguard. So I see it's a strange thing, really. It's like almost like a relic somehow. The way it happened. It was very popular apparently. It's popular almost like um uh, that rom-com, Big Fat Greek Wedding. Yeah, I thought it's a rom-com, but yeah, this one had romance as well, at least. But yeah, it's a very strange thing, isn't it? It certainly made a lot of money. I'm assuming people like the romantic aspect, I suppose, but I thought it worked as a thriller as well. I mean, it intended to be a thriller, and it worked for that as well. The romance, sure enough, wasn't as strong, really. It wasn't as substantial, but otherwise, I thought it worked still as a thriller. And I know that critics really didn't like it, but then again, um, critics liked the like of um, uh, Silver Lining Playbook, which in my opinion is quite boring. I mean, it's not that you don't need to have a thriller really to not be boring. You just need to there's just maybe not mention football every half a second. Just maybe. Yeah. So I'm just saying critics really do not seem to be infallible at all, right? I mean, this other supposed rom-com drama, even had some Oscar nominations, or even a win apparently, and lots of money made as well. But as opposed to The Bodyguard, which also make money, but critically not well received, although still had a Oscar nomination for best song, I believe. But I'm just saying, after some movies I've watched that I really personally don't think are at all interesting, just personal opinion, but I mean, that's the point, though, right? No, I mean, critics are simply giving their point as well, their opinion, and sure enough, so are Oscar wins. Essentially, they're just simply people's preferences, and the fact that they happen to be voters for nominees and such, and voters to nominate. That's pretty much it. Um, so really, it's not much different from anything else. From the opinion I usually give myself. So, but I'm just saying, it's not that the Bodyguard was spectacular or anything. I'm just saying that it's not that I ever really paid much attention to anyone's opinion, to be honest. But yeah, in terms of though, I mean, I honestly don't know why it's hated so much. It's not like it's not that I mean, even the fact that it got Razzie nominations. I mean, it's ridiculous, right? It's I've seen so many worse movies, but of course, even those are simply opinions of whoever, obviously. Um, but just anyway, for what it is, so for it tries to be a thriller mainly. I think it works very well in that sense, you know. It's not just non-stop, idiotic, constant, um, you know. And yeah, ironically though, I know other movies that would fit that definition, which also made loads of money. And I did think that only such movies made money. So I don't know, maybe this says that that's not true. But it could also be the fact um, that maybe only in the 90s or earlier than the 2000s maybe where that wasn't true. I don't know. We'll see. Because of course the ones that I'm thinking of were made in the last decade. So um, I cannot recall any though that I've seen made in the last decade or two that were also successful. That weren't non-stop, brainless, mindless, so-called action, right? Which is absolutely boring. So yeah, in that aspect, this isn't. It's still not interesting so as the likes of, for example, The Line, which had awesome editing and the way it told the story was pretty good. The way this told its story was sort of mediocre, but wasn't worse than most movies I watch. What's strange is that it was written, at least the script, I think specifically, was written by the writer of Star Wars somehow. Like, if I didn't read this, I could have never guessed. I had nothing to do with Star Wars, so yeah. Um, yeah, apparently someone called Kazdan, apparently. Never heard of him actually, but when I watched Star Wars, I don't think I quite researched them at that point. Um, I only began researching movies later on. So yeah, but otherwise, I don't think personally, this is much worse than I've seen. I mean, I've seen worse within the same genre or within the romantic genre as well. So I mean, within both genres, I've seen worse thrillers and romances, really, or comedies for that aspect. But it's not a comedy, so I wouldn't be comparing like with like. Yeah, I mean, yeah, and personally, I had never seen Whitney Houston before. I wasn't aware she acted, but I don't think she did too badly, considering this was her very first acting. Hmm. And that's generally not the case, really. You don't get good transitions usually between singers to actors or such, I suppose. Um, apparently, no, she mostly did soundtrack, obviously. But she has though still 58 credits as an actress, and most of them are video shorts. So her own music videos, surely. And yeah, no, it seems like this is pretty much the only one. Yeah, besides the series where she came out as herself, a concert performer. Oh, she actually had her earliest is actually in 1984. Some series called Give Me a Break. It was Rita. Hmm. That's quite early on, I guess. So after this, after the Bodyguard, she did not exactly a lot. Apparently, The Preacher's Wife and A Fairy Godmother and Cinderella. Apparently, that's not Disney's, obviously, is it? No. Um. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I think. Yeah. Uh, I remember her death. I Yeah, she also apparently her last movie role was There's someone called Emma and Sparkle, and that's the year she died. Yeah, it's a strange event. She was in a bath and drunk, I think, if I'm not mistaken, her with someone else. I'm not entirely sure how one can drown in a bath, but yeah. Apparently, this movie also served to be the vehicle for the most sold OST, practically. Yeah, because there has been no other movie that had better selling soundtrack. I guess that's sort of true. I guess I mean the soundtrack I suppose did sort of outshine the rest of the movie. That might have been the problem, but otherwise, I mean it's not a below average movie, though. Surely, I don't know, but I don't think it was, but I mean, it wasn't spectacular either. Hmm. So, yeah, I remember correctly. She's the one who drowned in a bathtub. Must have been a big bathtub. Well, she was small, I suppose. I don't know. Um, I guess blame Beverly Hills bathtubs. I guess if they weren't so big, huh? And oh no, it wasn't alcohol, or was it? No, it wasn't. Oh, that's something I misremember. Apparently, it was cocaine. Hmm. But it doesn't seem to. Yeah, I don't suppose she really then drowned and she did. uh, I'm assuming it had an effect on her heart and she happened to be in a bathtub. That's pretty much it. I mean, there was also a lot of other chemicals, but it doesn't seem like they contributed a major part to that. Hmm. So yeah, that was 20 years after this movie. She died. Hmm. So somewhat similar to Amy Winehouse, right? And she had a similar sort of death as well. Although, yeah, I think she was the one who drowned due to alcohol. I think. Let me check again. I think I'm kind of confusing them. Hmm. It's even earlier than that. Yeah, alcohol and she also broke some singing records apparently, but only after her death. That's kind of annoying, isn't it? But yeah, the mm, I don't know if there's a connection between singers and dying early. I suppose. Um, mm, yeah. But no, I don't think Whitney Houston was 27. No, definitely wasn't. She was 48. Yeah. So kind of double the amount, huh? Well, anyway, yeah. At any rate, yeah, personally, I think the movie wasn't too as bad as critics seem to think. It's not really. Even if yeah, even if you take account just the singing, but even on the thrilling aspect, even with regards to just specifically the thriller genre, yeah, I think it works really. It might not be the best sort of romance. It doesn't have a brilliant non-cliched ending, but in terms of the thriller aspect, it works. It reminded me a bit of Perfect Blue. It also had this sort of storyline with Singer being chased. That's animation, obviously, but they're quite kind of similar, both of them. This doesn't isn't so much about identity, though. This is more about romance, whereas that is about identity. But otherwise, both are interesting thrillers, I think.